Mr. Matlala, will you be swearing or affirming?
I'll be swearing.
Can you please state your full names for the record?
Vusi Matlala.
Do you swear that the evidence you are going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And I point out that, for instance, you completely ignored the request that you talk to your relationship with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia, who's listed under 5, to Lieutenant General Khosi Sentumule, listed under 6, and Major General Sinona, under 10, former General Sandra Tema, under 9, Major General Shibiri, under 12. So my question was, besides the fact that I hear you will not deal with your relationship with your co-accused, you have gone further to make a selection to deal with only 5 of the remaining persons whose names appear on Annex 5, and have chosen to ignore completely the other persons, with no explanation in your statement as to why that is the case. And I'm inviting you to explain to the commissioners why that is the case.
I will say is because these people, in my supplementary affidavit, it will explain further why I didn't include them now here. So because there are some reasons, I did that deliberately because I have reasons why I did not include them. But only those reasons will be found in my supplementary affidavit.
Are you in a position to share the reasons now and the detail then of the relationship you have with the respective persons to be included in your supplementary? The reasons I'm requesting is why they don't form part of this particular statement. And then you don't have to elaborate on the relationship you have with each one of them.
It will have to do with the recordings which I'm disputing. So I did not want to add them now because I have to now dive deep and explain why I'm saying I'm disputing the recordings, which we still have the transcripts that we still need to transcribe again because of some of them are unofficial transcripts.
So then if I understand you correctly, and I don't want to misunderstand you, anyone appearing at page 7 that you have not dealt with, it's your submission that they are to some extent impacted by or involved in the recordings that you intend to dispute.
Yes.
Is that the
Yes.
basis? I hear you. And that will become apparent when you submit your supplementary
Yes.
statement. If we go then page 7, it will leave item 5, Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibia. It will leave out item 8, Lieutenant General Khosi Sentumule. Item 9, former General Sandra Tema. Item 10, Major General Lesija Sinona. Item 12, Major General Richard Shibiri. Item 16, Brigadier Patrick Netengwe. 18, Brigadier Petunia Reabezwi Lenono.
Sorry, Netengwe is 14.4.
Oh, the error is mine. Yes, it's quite good. Thank you, Commissioner. Then that takes us to 18. 18 is dealt with, yes, at item 14.6. So after Major General Shibiri, then we would jump to 24, Lieutenant Colonel Maluleke. Yes, we've got Malika. And then Sergeant or Captain Zungu, as the witness has stated, and Commissioner Julius Mkhwanazi at item 28. Those are the persons that he has not addressed in the statement or his relationship with them.
Ms. Zillo, it might be I missed it. Item 2 and 26.
Yes, item, indeed. 26 would be Faningosi. That's quite, I confused that with Molefe Fani. That would be correct.
And did you mention item 2?
I miscounted it as a matter, as somebody he had dealt with in his statement. The commissioner is quite correct.
Thank you.
Chairperson.
Yes.
I do feel compelled, maybe as client is not legally trained, to just highlight the following issues. In addition to what the client has said, I was not the deponent, or I didn't assist with the drafting of this affidavit, but I was consulted on issues relating thereto. The persons that were left off also relates to IDAC. There's certain investigations conducted by IDAC, it was going to be dealt with in the supplementary affidavit. There was information that the attorneys endeavoured to obtain from IDAC that, put it this way, that they battled to get, but we're dealing with it in a different way. So the legal basis is not only based on the statement that's at issue, but it relates to investigations that were conducted by IDAC. And I think I'm going to stop there, because we do intend to basically also set out for you the legal basis as to why these names cannot be dealt with also vis-a-vis IDAC's investigations. And then specifically I could also mention, in respect of the last person, I think it's General Mkhwanazi from the EMPD, there's certain further information. It all relates to the issue of suspect, the legal definition of a suspect, etc., and your rights afforded to you as a suspect. I just wanted to place this on record. May I please you?
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Fani.
Thank you, Chair. So we understand the reason why then some of the people who've been left out on the list were left out. We accept that they will then be addressed in the supplementary statement to be filed, and we shall pick it up from there when that statement is filed. Let's then turn our attention, Mr. Matlala, to your paragraph 15, where you then deal with the 5 people. At 15.1, you recall that the request to you had been to explain the history and relationship you maintain with the specific persons listed at page 7. And to give the details as to the nature and extent and frequency of your communication, etc. You deal at 15.1 with your relationship with Minister Mchunu, or if there is any, if you could then address yourself to your paragraph 15.1.
I place on record that I do not have any relationship with Minister Senzo Mchunu. I have never met Minister Mchunu and have had no interactions with him, nor have I been at any gatherings where he was present. It suffices to say that I do not know Minister Mchunu.
And just a question of clarification here, you say you have had no interactions, I take it, with personal interactions.
Yes.
Have you had any interactions on your behalf? Have there been any interactions on your behalf with Minister Mchunu, to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Initiated by you? Had you ever requested anyone to engage with him on your behalf?
No, it was only during when we had to confirm whether we know each other. There's a letter that I sent to, it was sent, I think, to the IDAC committee.
Yes.
So it's that interaction that I'm referring to.
So that's the interaction you had with him? Are you able
Not
to...
with him directly.
Oh, yes? Please clarify.
Not with him directly.
Through who?
Through the attorney.
Okay. The attorney being his attorney or your attorney?
My attorney and his attorney.
Okay. Sorry? Now you have specified the interactions you had with Minister Mchunu through your attorneys, and you referenced a particular letter you submitted to, or that was submitted to Parliament, and you said this was through your respective attorneys, both yourself and Minister Mchunu's. Have you had any other dealings or interactions with him through interactions by others?
No.
None?
No.
Then if we go over... Yes,
Before
please.
you, Mr. Mchunu's foundation, have you had any dealings with it?
No, nothing.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, perhaps because you were requested at 2.2.5, when you speak of any particular individual, to indicate whether you have exchanged information with them. At 2.2.6, whether you have given or offered any gifts, gratification, money, sponsorship, favors to any of these individuals. Now, confining ourselves to Minister Mchunu, if you look at paragraph 2.2.6 of the notice, do you confirm that you have not taken any step that constitutes an offer of gift or sponsorship to Mr. Mchunu, whether directly or indirectly? Is that your position?
No, I've never is.
Okay. If then I can invite us to page 13. At page 13, you deal the same questions, but now in respect of former General Khomotso Pahlane. You deal with that at 15.2.
I place on record that I know General Phahlane. I'm unable to recall how many times I have met with him, and place on record that these meetings were, to the best of my knowledge and belief at the time, when he was no longer within the employ of the SAPS. I confirm that I have no business dealings with General Phahlane, nor have I ever asked for any favors from him or offered him any gratifications.
In light of your response in regard to General Pahlane, may I then ask you, insofar as Minister Mchunu is concerned, specifically whether you have ever asked of him any favors?
From General Phahlane?
No, Mr. Mchunu, I'm going back because when you speak of General Pahlane, you specifically say you've never asked for any favors from him or offered him any gratifications. That is a claim you don't make in respect of Mr. Mchunu. So my question to you is whether you have ever asked of any favor of Minister Mchunu.
No, I have never asked any favors from him.
We then, you then, at paragraph 15.6, deal with your relationship with Lt Gen Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. If you could read that into the record.
I place on record that I know and have on one occasion met Lt General Mkhwanazi. I do not have any relationship with him.
Are you in a position to describe very briefly, even just highlights, this meeting on this one occasion? Are you able to provide any detail?
I cannot provide any details because it has to do with the case that I'm attending in Pretoria for Medicare tender.
Sorry, please say that again.
I'm saying I cannot provide any details because my meeting with General Mkhwanazi, it has to do with the tender that I had with SAPS.
Okay.
Which now I'm attending court and I'm charged for that matter.
So, if I understand you correctly, then your meeting in that occasion you reference involved the Medicare 24 tender?
Yes.
Did it involve any other issue besides the Medicare 24 tender?
No, it has to do with Medicare 24 tender.
Your voice tends to drop sometimes, or maybe my hearing is not what it should be.
I'll try to speak next to the speaker.
You can pull them closer to you if more comfortable. Thank you. Yes, no, my question had been on that particular one occasion because you say you've met with him only once. I hear that you say that meeting involved or related to the Medicare 24 contract, which you say is part of the ongoing criminal trial.
Yes.
My question was whether or not you discussed any other matters outside the Medicare 24 contract, and if so, what those were.
Yeah, there is something that we discussed except the Medicare 24 tender.
Are you able to shed light on what was discussed?
Maybe again, Chairperson, this particular issue I want to request for a number of reasons that it be parked. We intend to bring, if necessary, again in law, an application to the Commission to deal with that issue differently. So at this point, I respectfully submit that for reasons that we've also disclosed to the evidence leaders, I do not think it's pertinent or prudent at this point to deal with this issue. We will deal with it in the supplementary affidavit together with a specifically application as to how we wish to deal with that aspect, because the client's already indicated to you that there's a relation to the Medicare contract and it flows from there. Thank you very much.
But Mr. Matlala has just said that it's not related to the Medicare 24 contract.
It is indirectly related to it. As I said, my client is not an attorney or an advocate. He doesn't understand the legal, the finer points of the law in as much as how you indicate direct or indirect or related to.
Chair. My challenge is if we approach matters on that basis, then anything that was discussed on that one occasion, including any potential Christmas gifts, cannot be discussed, simply because the Medicare 24 contract happened to be discussed in that meeting. Now, Mr. Matlala has specifically, as the chair points out, that there were other matters discussed that are unrelated to Medicare 24. Now, if Ms. Van der Heefe wants the matter to be parked, as she suggests, the least she could do, I would suggest, is to advance a legal basis to the commissioners for why this matter should be parked. I do not see, even if she were able to, I do not see why the witness cannot comment just in general on the topics that were discussed and the detail to be unpacked in the supplementary statement. Thank you, Chair.
Chairperson, on that issue, if necessary, I will file a substantive application to deal with it and ask that that application be heard in camera. Thank you.
I just want to be sure, is the point the simple one that the other issues that were discussed, which Mr. Matlala says are not related to Medicare 24, but which you say are indirectly related to Medicare 24, that Mr. Matlala is claiming the privilege not to incriminate himself. Is that your point, Ms. Van der Heefe?
My point actually goes further, Chairperson, and that's why I say, with the greatest of respect, allow us the opportunity on that issue alone to set it out, file a substantive application, and set out to you the reasons as to why we believe that should not be dealt with in an open forum.
But in broad and general terms, why can't we hear now what the extension beyond the privilege is, in broad general terms, not any detail?
Chairperson, then I'm going to ask that I just deal with this issue with the client during tea time, and that we then come back after tea time to that particular issue. I need to take an instruction on him as to exactly how he feels comfortable in me addressing you on that issue. As I said, please understand it clearly. This is not to interfere with the flow of what we're busy with. But I also have my client's interest at heart when I address this issue. But I'm quite willing to have a quick discussion with him during the tea period and come back to this to see how we can deal with it.
Perhaps in the interest of time, Ms. Sello, for now, let's just park the issue.
Except to go on record and say Mr. Matlala has got a full appreciation of the fact that the other issues that were discussed bear no bearing on the Medicare 24 contract, and that's the understanding that he gave to the Commission, to the commissioners in response to a question, and he is very clear about that. But we shall park the matter and we will pick it up after tea. For the moment then, Mr. Matlala, let's go to your paragraph 15.3. This time you are addressing your relationship with Lt General Feroz Molefe. If you could read the contents of 15.3 into the record.
I place on record that I do not have any relationship with Lieutenant General Molefe Fani. I have never met him and have had no interactions with him, nor have I been at any gatherings where he was present.
And that will then lead us to your paragraph 15.4, where you specifically then deal with your relationship with Major General Khan.
I place on record that I do not have any relationship with Major General Khan. I have never met him and have had no interactions with him, nor have I been at any gatherings where he was present. It suffices to say that I do not know him.
And I take it that if one has regard to paragraph 2.2 of the notice of the 10-6 notice, that insofar as both Lieutenant General Fannie Molefe and Major General Feroz Khan, you cannot speak to the issues raised in paragraphs 2.2.1 to 2.2.7, because you, as you say, you do not know them at all, and therefore the issues that are raised in those sub-paragraphs do not arise in regard to them. Is that your position?
Yes, Mr. Maluleke, I know him. He was staying at my house. The reason for him to stay at my house, I think he was robbed or something, and he didn't have a place to stay, and then I offered him a place to stay. So he was staying at my house, and as soon as he heard that the police went to my house and to do that first raid, and I've been complaining about the conduct of the police to extent that I even attempted to make an urgent high court application to interdict the police from harassment. So I've been sharing these things with him anyway. So there came a point where I don't know who contacted Mr. Maluleke, but he told me that, listen, I've been asked to go and testify against, give testimony in relation to General Khan. So, and then he said, because these people who requested me to go there and testify, that are the people who went to your house and raid your house. So, is there anything that you want me to do in regards with this thing? So, and then I told him that, listen, whatever it is, I've already sorted out my issues with these people. So I don't have anything to do with them anyway. So, but he said to me, he already spoken to some guy, Mr. Mkhwanazi. And Mr. Mkhwanazi asked him to go there and then to testify, but I do not know what he was supposed to say in his testimony. So he wanted my confirmation that, do you really want me to go there and then testify in favor of General Khan? I said, I do not know General Khan anyway, and then even if you do, it won't help me with anything, because I already sorted out my problems with the police that were raiding my house. So from what I heard is, I heard it from Mr. Mkhwanazi, that he said to Mr. Mkhwanazi that I'm going to testify in favor of General Khan, but I want you to speak to your people to give me a promotion and some money. So Mkhwanazi showed me the communication between himself and Mr. Maluleke. So there was a meeting that they were supposed to have a meeting somewhere. I think it was in a hotel somewhere in Johannesburg. I forgot the name of the hotel. So I asked Mkhwanazi that, okay, did your person did what you said he will do? He said, yes, he did, but he told me that they've even recorded him, I think, because he was asking for promotion and money. So I will say From the top of my head, that's how I remember about this Mr. Maluleke story.
By whether he had done what he had said he would do, were you referring to him testifying at the disciplinary proceedings?
Yes.
So he had said he had testified.
No, not the disciplinary proceedings, I'm sorry. He was going, before he went to testify, he had an appointment with Mr. Mkhwanazi. And then Mr. Mkhwanazi arranged, I don't know with who. They met with those people, and then that's when maybe they were planning to try to come up with how is he going to testify, I think. So during that meeting, that's when he was recorded. Mr. Mkhwanazi told me that they've recorded him, and then he's asking for money and a promotion. I said, then if he's stuck there, then why don't you ask the person that is helping you to give you money? So why are you, that cannot be my problem. So I left it like that, and then...
So when you asked whether Mr. Maluleke had done what he had said he would do, were you asking about whether he had made an approach for him to be promoted?
No.
When you asked, has he done what he said he would do, what
Yes.
were you asking about?
I was asking that he said he will testify in favor of General Khan. So I was asking Mr. Mkhwanazi that did he do that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And just as a follow-up, considering the issue, which was you were to speak to Major General Khan's disciplinary hearing, and then including communication between Mr. Mkhwanazi and Mr. Maluleke, and you've testified as you have. I'm not sure I understand, or I'm clarified in my mind, what evidence could you potentially give at the disciplinary hearing? What evidence were you being requested to provide at the hearing?
I don't know. I will be lying. I don't know.
And you don't know in relation to what aspect of the disciplinary?
What I know is it had to do with General Khan, and then what was the details of the disciplinary hearing, that I don't know.
Besides testifying, what role did you understand was required of you? What role did you understand was expected of you?
Of me?
Yes, in all of this,
No, it's not. There was no role. I think Mr. Maluleke wanted to do me a favor.
Yes.
Because of he was under the impression that at that point I'm not in good terms with the police.
Yes.
So then the very same police, they are the same people who asked him to come and testify.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to do me a favor and then testify in favor of the person that they wanted to discipline, I think.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So maybe then the misunderstanding was mine. You were not being required to go testify.
No, not
That was-
myself.
okay.
No.
Then I think I misheard you.
Now, can I just clarify, Mr. Matlala, the favor that you say you think he wanted to do you a favor.
Yes.
The favor would have been what? That General Khan is acquitted.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just, sorry, Ms. Sello. Did you speak to Mr. Maluleke when you offered him a place to stay? Who actually spoke to him and arranged a place for him to stay?
I went to see him at the hospital, and then after he got out of the hospital, there's a guy who stays at it's a cottage.
Yes.
So I connected him with that guy, and then he went there.
But he did speak to you,
Who?
Mr. Maluleke.
Yes.
And then you say when there was a raid at your house, you also told him about that.
Yes.
So you spoke to him
Yes.
on at least 2 occasions?
No, couple of times, not two.
Couple of
Couple
times.
of times, yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And the home where you housed him, where is that?
It's in Pretoria.
Pretoria. Where in Pretoria?
home in Mamelodi.
In Mamelodi, your home. Yeah. Oh, all right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. That is then in regard to General Khan's disciplinary hearing. Anything else that is relevant to the question posed at 2.3.1?
Not that I can think of, but if I think of something, I will add it in my supplementary
Your
affidavit.
supplement. Noted, thank you. The next question is at 2.3.2, and here you were asked to speak to your involvement in the delivery of impala to General Sibia and any other forms of gratification you may given to General Sibia. It's at 2.3.2. Once again, that issue is not addressed at all in your statement. Would you like an opportunity to do so now?
Yes, this will also be in my supplementary affidavit because I just heard from the recordings after I've made this affidavit that there's a recording. In that recording, there is I'm mentioning this impalas in that recording. And then I did not know by then that there was a recording which speaks about such things. So now I have to go back and then make a supplementary affidavit in relation with this impala story.
I hear you, because now you want to engage with the recording itself, whether it's by way of questioning or challenging its correctness or otherwise. That's a separate issue. Mine is, you were specifically asked in the 10.6 to speak about the delivery to General Sibia of impalas and any other form of gratification given to him. So we can confine ourselves to the question as posed. The content of the recording we will deal with in the fullness of time.
Yes, Commissioner, like I said, I do not want to incriminate myself because I know that the recordings are under investigation. And by the time when I made my affidavit, I was not aware of that. So I just heard the recordings after. So I do not want to comment on something which on a later stage will incriminate me.
So that if I understand you correctly, in respect to the question posed at 2.3.2, are you asserting your right against self-incrimination?
Yes.
And what in particular would you be speaking to that places you at risk of self-incrimination insofar as the delivery of impalas to General Sibia is concerned? I just need to understand the basis upon which you are invoking that. Are you facing criminal charges for that currently?
No, there's investigations.
Yes.
Which has been said in open court that there is currently investigations going on. So what I will do is I think I will get the transcripts and then of my court proceedings, and then I think I need to attach them to my supplementary affidavit.
Can you I ask Ms. Hassim here perhaps because I don't necessarily know everything. Which court proceedings are you referring to?
The Johannesburg High Court.
Is that the attempted murder case?
Yes. Let me try to clarify this.
Please, if you can.
We asked for the recordings during the pre-trial. And then the state advocate said that no, the recordings, they are not part of that trial, of that case. So it's something else which they are investigating. Meaning, whatever is in the recordings is under investigation. So hence I'm saying now, I do not want to comment on that because I know that it's under investigation.
So if this is for my understanding, is it your attitude that the commission cannot engage you on anything that you suspect is currently under investigation?
Not suspect, something that I know for a fact that is under investigation.
So you cannot be engaged on anything that is currently under investigation?
Yeah,
whatever the basis of investigation and progress of investigation, is that the attitude you assume?
Yes, I do not want to incriminate myself in that.
Sorry to interrupt my learned friend. Chairperson, again, this issue of General Sibia, I want to place on record, forms part of the whole IDAC matter that we intend to deal with also in our application as well as in the supplementary affidavit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I just ask to make sure I understand? You're saying there is an investigating officer who is looking at the question of the delivery of impalas to General Sibia?
I'm saying there is an investigation, the entire recording. So I do not know out of the entire recording which part is investigated, which part is not. But what I'm saying is, in that recording, there is the impala issue in that recording. So I do not know whether it's part of it or not. But what I know is that they're saying that recording itself is under investigation.
So your answer to my question is, you are not saying, as a matter of fact, that there is an investigating officer who is investigating the issue of impalas delivered to General Sibia. That's not what you're saying to us.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, you're not saying that as a fact. You see, you're raising, you say you're reluctant to speak to it because you don't
Yes.
want to incriminate yourself.
Yes.
So it's important that we understand the basis of it. That is it just a suspicion that you have that the delivery of impalas is being investigated? It's a suspicion and we have to deal with it on the basis that it's a suspicion, or as a matter of fact, there is an investigator, an investigating officer who is looking at this specific question. It is important to understand which one you're relying on.
What I understand is they said there is an investigation, so they did not specify, because there's a number of issues in that recording, so they did not specify that directly we're investigating this, not this. That I do not know. So I cannot say it's under investigation or not. But what I know is that the entire recording itself, they say they are investigating it. So I do not want to sit here and saying, no, this is under investigation. Which chances are there? Maybe it might not be under investigation, or it might be. I do not know that.
And if it is not under investigation, you would be able
Of course, yes.
to speak to it.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
And if then I may just follow up on that, you'll be able to make a determination based on the recording itself. Is that what you need to hear in full to understand whether or not there's an investigation, or is there some other exercise we can expect you to undertake to determine whether or not there's an investigation regarding the impala specifically? Where do we land? I'm trying to anticipate what we can expect in your supplementary, because as you say to Commissioner Balo, you don't know whether specifically the issue of impalas is the subject of investigation. You can't say that for a fact.
Yes.
You know that it features in the recording.
Yes.
And you need an opportunity to listen to the recording in its entirety. Did I understand you
No,
correctly?
I'm not saying that.
Okay. Then
I've listened to the recording. That's
Yes.
why I'm saying I know that the impalas issue is part of the recording.
Okay.
I've listened to the recording. I do not know whether the investigating team is also investigating the impala aspect. I do not know that. What I know is the state advocate said the recordings is under investigation.
Okay.
So which investigation, I cannot tell. I do not know that.
So then it's fair to depart from the premise that when we resume, armed now by then with your supplementary statement, you will be able to indicate to the commissioners, as a matter of fact, that particular issue is the subject of ongoing investigations.
I cannot promise that, because for me to find out, I have to engage with the investigators then, and I'm currently in custody, so I do not know how I will find a way to find out for sure that they are under investigation or not. I do not know that.
Then, so we leave it on the basis that you will deal with it in the supplementary statement, specifically that issue, and how the commission then deals with what you say in regard to the impalas to General Sibia will be the subject of the legal debate, whether or not you are required to answer that. Is that what you are suggesting?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Is it possible to avoid the legal debate by simply inquiring from IDEC whether this specific issue is the subject of investigation? If they say it is not, then as I understand Mr. Matlala, there would be no reason for him not to answer.
Chairperson,
Sorry.
maybe I can deal with
Sorry,
that.
I was not addressing you. Please wait your turn, Ms. Fannie. I'm raising it as a possibility. I'm not
hear
saying
that.
that's what must happen.
I hear that. We could do that, except that we run the risk of IDEX saying that it's not subject of our investigation. That does not exclude some other law enforcement SAPS investigations, for instance. And hence my interest to find out from Mr. Matlala what his understanding is in regard to any investigations concerning the impala. He should be able to indicate.
Can I do this? Sorry, because I wanted you to finish on this issue and then Ms. Fannie gets the opportunity. In light of what Ms. Sello has said, there's no need. I think I'm covered.
But perhaps let me still hear Ms. Fannie here. It sounded as if you had your ideas on a possible solution. Yes, Ms. Fannie here.
Chairperson, there's maybe just for the record legally, the issue of suspicion has got an objective and a subjective part. I think we must all just place this on record. So it's not a question of seeing it very simplistically. That's the first aspect. The second aspect is that when it comes to IDAC, we are in the process and we have been engaging them on certain aspects. So we as officers of the court, that means the legal team, would be able to engage you on that issue itself. It is, I would find it extremely, maybe I should use the word weird, for an accused person who's currently incarcerated to be able to answer the question as to whether there's an investigation on or not. We as legal people normally engage the various authorities that deal with these aspects to establish what the position is with regard to that. But to allay any concerns in that regard, we are busy with this whole issue involving General Sabia and other issues relating to him with IDAC inter alia. But it's not only IDAC, it was the PKTT itself that was involved in the recording that my client is referred to. And maybe also just to correct that, what was placed on record then, please, I'm not making myself a witness, it's recorded in court. In other words, it's something that can be dealt with here. It was placed on record that the subject of what is contained in these recordings are being investigated. And the inference that I would draw from that thinking back was that the PKTT and their cohorts are busy investigating issues that forms part of this interview that was, or the statement that my client was made to do. But again, as I said, I want to emphasize we are going to address legal points to you on that in due course as part of the supplementary and on the points eliminated.
And not just the legal issues, but also the pertinent factual question whether there is any investigation relating to the alleged delivery of impalas to General Sabia by Mr. Matlala.
Indeed, as I've indicated to you,
that factual issue, whether there is, because otherwise the privilege of self-incrimination will be a non-starter. So that should be addressed specifically as a factual issue. Yes.
Chairperson, where I started off this morning, you will recall I said that when we deal with these issues, we have to deal with it on a factual basis and on a legal basis. You cannot have a legal argument in abstracto. It needs to be supported by factual issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Then for my own edification, where we land is, Mr. Matlala, when you deal in your supplementary with the issue raised in paragraph 2.3.2, you will definitively state whether or not there is ongoing investigation in respect of the impalas, and then you deal with the issue of impalas the best as you can.